Is the ROG Ally worth it in 2024? Let's find out. Hey guys, what's going on? Dylan here. Today I'm going to see if the Asus ROG Ally is worth it in 2024. With the new Ally X just around the corner, should you still consider buying the standard Ally? With an AMD Ryzen Z1 Extreme processor equipped with 16GB of RAM, a 40Wh of battery life, the Ally is no slouch. But what is the biggest difference between this and the new Ally X? The Ally X debuts with the same processor, but with an upgraded 24GB of RAM, an impressive 80Wh of battery, a new cooling system, and double the onboard storage at 1TB. Not to mention a cool new colour wave being black compared to the Ally's standard white. But are these changes worth the extra £200 asking price, especially as you can pick up a used Ally for as little as £390 if you are willing to have a second-hand model that is not in pristine condition? I have an Ally which I picked up around Black Friday on a heavy discount, and I have loved everything about this device. It is my first and only handheld gaming device other than the Nintendo Switch, but do we really count that as a competitor to the Ally? For me, I have been using the Ally pretty much exclusively as an emulation powerhouse. If you want a video with how I set up my Ally for emulation, let me know in the comments below and I will make an in-depth video. But how does it perform? I have a range of consoles set up on the Ally ready for emulation, ranging from the 3rd generation of consoles with the NES to the 8th generation with the Wii U and Nintendo Switch. Now, I will not talk much about the other generation's emulation performance, because many devices including your phone can easily run games from all generations up to some 6th generation consoles. But what about the later generations? Well, I have experienced that all major and established emulators run extremely well on the Ally, with a few exceptions. That being the Xbox 360 emulator Sienna and Nintendo Switch emulator ROG. Those being the ones that really push the Ally to the max, but to give credit to those specific emulators, they are still a work in progress and have still got many issues emulating their respective consoles on many other more powerful devices. With the Sienna emulator, unless you are really wanting to emulate and play with Xbox exclusives that are stuck on that generation, then I would recommend using the PS3 emulator RPCS3. It is amazing on the Ally with little to no performance dips playing the same titles compared to Sienna. Now, with the Nintendo Switch emulator, it's a little bit more tricky, as Nintendo is known to shut down active emulators such as the popular Yuzu, which at the time of its active development was a better emulator than ROG's currently is. But on the other hand, ROG is still in active development and is improving by the update. As it is still an active emulator for a system that is current gen and is still fully supported by devs, the Ally does struggle to run some more demanding titles from the Switch library. The biggest example for me is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. A game I loved when I had my Switch, but on the ROG's emulator it doesn't quite run without judder and slowdown issues. The same could be said with other Switch titles as well. I cannot say for sure that the extra RAM inside the Ally X will make much of a difference without using it, but I would say I predict that you will get a slight difference in performance, especially when emulating Nintendo Switch titles. For the 6th generation of consoles, the Ally plays these games with no issues at all, at least for the games that I'm playing. I can easily play the Simpsons game on the RPCS3 emulator in the 10W power setting and see no performance drops. I was extremely impressed by this, as that generation of consoles have some of my favourite games, so being able to play them on the go without worrying too much about needing to plug in the charger immediately. That being said, even when playing in the 10W power mode, I'm still not getting a huge amount of battery life, so the new Ally X having double the battery should hopefully solve some of those problems. Now, with the older generations, the Ally breathes new life into retro games, being able to not only run them perfectly, but also allow them to be upscaled and be played at much higher and cleaner resolutions, up to the native screen resolution of 1920 by 1080, and even for some titles to allow for higher frame rates without any issues. Now, onto actual gaming. How well does it perform? I have played a few modern games on the Ally and still been very impressed with the performance. I will not go into the super detailing on the performance as many other reviews have already done that. I am however going to talk about the overall performance and what I think about it, starting with casual games like Minecraft. There's nothing I love more than getting into bed after a long day, putting on a TikTok compilation on my TV, and playing a bit of casual Minecraft before I go to sleep. The Ally is perfect for this. Yes, I know I can play it on my phone, but I love the physical controls. The Ally runs Windows, so it is easy to install any game I want, whether it's AAA or casual, I can play it on the Ally. Now, I have tried to play a few AAA titles on the Ally, and I have to say they are playable, but I'm not super impressed with the performance. Even with the new super resolution upscaling feature they have introduced, I'm still not happy with the performance. This may just be down to my nitpicking ways. I work in tech, so seeing the Ally having a screen that can do up to 120Hz, but then not being able to run somewhat demanding games at that refresh rate is wasted potential to me, and a feature they have slapped onto the product to make it look more impressive. But then again, that is a nitpick, and the games still run pretty decent and just under 60 FPS. And you might have better luck on other titles that are not under the casual category, but are not up there with the AAA titles. Since the Ally has released, there have been quite a few competitors popping up in the Windows handheld market, specifically the MSI Claw and the Lenovo Legion Go. The MSI Claw is a very similar looking device to the ROG Ally, just being in black. It has two different tiers, one being with an Intel Core Ultra 5 or an Ultra 7. Both the Ally and the Claw feature the same screen being 7 inches and being capable of 120Hz. And they both have 16GB of RAM with 512GB of onboard storage. The biggest difference is the Claw has a bigger battery, being 50 Wh compared to the 40 on the Ally for the same retail price. Other than that, they both function the same. The Lenovo is slightly different in the fact that it is the most expensive retail price. It shares the same processor as the Ally and the same amount of RAM, but it has a bigger battery being 50 Wh. The most impressive thing about this device is it has a large 8.8-inch Quad HD display at 144Hz. And it has detachable controllers, so you can play like a Nintendo Switch, with one of the controllers being able to transform into a mouse. Pretty impressive if you would actually use and benefit from the features, which I imagine very few would. Overall, I think right now the regular ROG Ally is a great device to pick up if you want a great gaming experience on the go, especially if you pick one up second hand. If you're someone who cares about having the best battery, then maybe save up for an Ally X. For the rest of us, then the standard Ally provides a much better value than the competition. I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. I've worked really hard on this and hopefully it shows. If you enjoyed the video, go down below, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this, and I'll hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace.